Alex Cuadros, Brazillionaires, Chasing Dreams of Wealth in an American Country. Imagine a journey through the two extremes of Brazil, from the colorful, lively streets of Rio to the harsh reality of favelas, and from the vibrancy of carnival to the struggle for basic necessities. Brazillionaires, by Alex Cuadros, explores these contrasting worlds and the problems Brazilians face, such as bureaucratic red tape and the highly polarized nature of the country's economy. The book examines the historical and socio-political factors that have contributed to these issues, as well as the impressive progress Brazil has made since its transition to democracy.
The unseen struggles in Brazil. Brazil's picture-perfect image often masks the country's deeply rooted problems, such as basic life struggles amid the favelas and a bureaucratic nightmare affecting daily tasks. Despite constitutional rights to free healthcare, serious health crises and inadequate infrastructure create roadblocks for the population. The complexities of the bureaucracy require the hiring of despachantes to navigate the paperwork, often through building connections with the appropriate officials. We often visualize Brazil as a vibrant land blessed with iconic landmarks, fabulous carnivals, and sun-kissed beaches. But beneath the surface lies a myriad of challenges that most Brazilians grapple with daily. Favelas, or makeshift neighborhoods constructed by the poor, are common in cities across Brazil, occupying spaces under bridges, in parking lots, or even between towering skyscrapers. These neighborhoods represent only one aspect of the hardships Brazilians endure. A tangle of infrastructural issues like gridlocked roads, inadequately functioning public schools, and hospitals that create more problems than they solve further exacerbates the struggles of day-to-day life in Brazil. Even though free public healthcare is a constitutional right, a lack of private insurance can result in unbearably long waits at emergency rooms during health crises. Additionally, the Brazilian bureaucracy resembles a baffling labyrinth, where seemingly simple tasks such as opening a bank account, connecting a phone line, or switching service providers turn into Herculean feats. In Brazil, each piece of paperwork must be stamped and notarized, often entailing hours-long waits. These bureaucratic complexities are so extreme that Brazilian companies spend an average of 2,600 man-hours annually preparing their taxes. In response to this overwhelming red tape, despachantes, professionals specializing in navigating bureaucratic mazes, have become an essential resource, assisting people by building connections with the right officials to simplify procedures. So, while the idyllic image of Brazil may be the first to captivate our minds, understanding the unseen struggles that pervade everyday Brazilian life tells a different story. Brazil's progress and pitfalls. Brazil has come a long way since its days of dictatorship, flourishing into the world's seventh-largest economy. Popular exports like coffee, sugar, soybeans, and beef have driven its growth, and corporations like 3G Capital, owned by Brazilian billionaires, have acquired iconic brands such as Budweiser, Burger King, Heinz, and Kraft. However, not all is well in Brazil. The wealth divide remains significant, and the justice system heavily favors the rich. Politicians like Paulo Maluf exploit legal loopholes to evade serious corruption charges, while less wealthy citizens struggle to escape the harsh penalty of minor offenses. Despite Brazil's apparent progress, it's clear that some of its deeper issues remain unresolved. Brazil's deep-rooted corruption. Brazil has been entangled in a culture of corruption for centuries, stemming from a system of patronage established during the reign of Portugal's King João VI in the early 19th century. This tradition of exchanging titles, favors, and wealth extends to the present day, where powerful businessmen and politicians maintain firm control over the country's resources. The dark history of secret government agency Oban highlights the lengths to which corrupt entities have gone to protect their interests, including torturing future President Dilma Rousseff. Not participating in bribery puts companies at a disadvantage, depreciating Brazil's GDP by approximately $20 billion annually. From its origins in royal exchanges, Brazil's culture has been deeply entrenched in corruption. Portugal's King João VI, who fled to Brazil from Napoleon's forces in 1808, sold titles to his subjects to amass wealth, kickstarting a notorious tradition. This patronage network, where influential leaders distribute favors and titles to bolster their power, continues to thrive in modern Brazil. In 1964, Brazil faced a drastic change when the military overthrew the government. 5 years later, they created OBAN, a secret agency designed to counter subversive elements. Top Brazilian businessmen and politicians joined forces within OBAN, employing brutal methods such as electric shock torture and beatings during interrogations. Dilma Rousseff, who later became Brazil's president, suffered at the hands of this ruthless organization. However, these businessmen had no option but to cooperate with OBAN. Doing so allowed them to maintain crucial connections with politicians governing the country. As the economy struggled, government credit obtained through supporting OBAN became essential for companies' survival. This unholy alliance between business and political spheres persists today, with the most successful enterprises aligning themselves with those in power. Bribery has become so commonplace in Brazil that companies not partaking in corrupt practices find themselves at a competitive disadvantage. Economists have estimated that widespread bribery accounts for a staggering loss of $20 billion each year, equating to 1% of the nation's GDP. Brazil's rise, Eike Batista's story. The meteoric ascent of Brazilian entrepreneur Eike Batista exemplifies both the promise and challenges of Brazil's economy. Born into a wealthy family, Batista started his career in the early 2000s by investing in iron ore deposits. He had a remarkable ability to pick the right projects and surround himself with top talent, which quickly turned him into an investment magnate. Batista's mining company, MMX, raised a groundbreaking $400 million during an IPO in 2006. By 2012, his net worth had skyrocketed to $30 billion, making him the 8th richest person in the world. However, Batista's success was not purely based on solid foundations. He was adept at selling an image of success and attracting funds for new ventures, while cozying up to politicians seeking secure channels for public funds. Behind the scenes, Batista's oil reserves were underperforming and categorized as prospective, indicating that profitability was uncertain. This extraordinary tale reflects the potential and pitfalls of Brazil's economy, revealing the fine line between brilliant business acumen and the veneer of success. Bursting Brazil's economic bubble. Widely regarded as the face of Brazil's future prosperity, Batista's meteoric rise came to a halt in 2012 when his net worth dwindled by $14.5 billion in just 3 months. The collapse resulted from both Batista's ventures and Brazil's economy being built on an unstable bubble. One key reason for Batista's downfall was his inability to listen to any criticism, often dismissing any conflicting opinions as small-minded. By 2013, his petroleum company, OGX, was on the brink of bankruptcy, while the economy witnessed a rise in distrust among foreign investors, leading to severe financial repercussions. In addition to economic struggles, Brazil grappled with socio-political turmoil, as the impeachment of President Dilma Rousseff stirred uncertainty. Brazil's future remains uncertain, with more money leaving the country than being brought in, and the International Monetary Fund projecting a shrinking economy from 2015 to 2017.
Despite its rich cultural heritage and promising economic potential, Brazil remains a country deeply entrenched in corruption and socio-political turmoil. The stories of affluent individuals such as Eike Batista and politicians like Paulo Maluf exemplify the deeply rooted issues within the system, leading to an ever-widening gap between the rich and the poor. Brazil's uncertain future seems to hinge on addressing these endemic problems and finding solutions to create a more equitable society. Brazillionaires provides a thought-provoking and insightful dive into Brazil's complex reality, connecting its past, present, and future struggles to create a clearer understanding of the nation's challenges.